galaxy entering graphics to like fairy coming out kicking kicking people in the head. Like you're like, it's just is one of those moments where it's super 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 dope to see. And then obviously finding out who all like the brilliant masterminds were behind it. And I think I'd love to hear what your opinion was on like getting all of the preparation together and then seeing all that kind of kickstart.
Clone Force is actually crazy, man, because I think I highlighted in that thread, and it is crazy to me as well that we've been doing this for a year now. Thanks to everybody that's been like supporting and everything. But in all honesty, we didn't expect it to go the way it did in terms of like virality and stuff. And a lot of it, like regardless of what like people may say, man, Artifact, none of this would have been possible without Artifact and like the support that they provide, the tools that they give and all of that stuff. And for me, man, that's more important than any kind of like an endorsement from Artifact goes way beyond anything else that someone like can give you. Do you know what I mean? Especially at a time like that. Because we posted that video with 0 followers on our page. Clone Force was a brand new page, 0 followers, and we put that out. And then Artifact retweeted it, and like within the first day, we had 7,000 followers on our page. We had, I don't even know what the impressions were, it's like 120 something thousand likes. Well, no, not likes, views. An insane amount of likes, an insane amount of retweets. Everyone's like following us, putting notifications on. And initially, like our sort of, avenue and like strategy was to take it like really, really slow. Because our main aim, like in any project, in any sort of brand that you're building, is like to build trust. Like you can't just go out the gates and be like, yo, give us like 10 mil or whatever, like that this space does, because of the way it's people are geared up and like they think it's just a way of like quickly making money, and there's a lot of predatory tactics that come into it. But if you want to build a solid brand that's going to like last, the test of time, you have to build a lot of trust. So initially our aim with Clone Force was to release these Echo Stones one at a time, like maybe one every 2 weeks, leave it open edition, let the community set the supply for the Echo Stones. But when we released that video as the teaser and it gained that kind of like, virality and popularity, we had to like on the fly really strategize a way of like capturing that sort of market, but still in a really ethical, fair way, because we came through that and like we started that project as consumers of the space first. Like we were all NFT enthusiasts. We've been in the space, like we know how it goes. There's whitelist grinds, there's we were like grinding for whitelists in the bull market for months, only to get like rejected in the end. I remember doing like so many art competitions and putting so much time to like get these whitelists and stuff, and they never get seen. And all of that at the end of the day is like, in my opinion, like quite predatory tactics to some degree, like getting people to like and retweet for a chance for this and that. And we came into it thinking we need to, ethically do something where the consumers at mind, or like the holders in the community, are at the core of all the decisions that we make. So yeah, we just like changed it all. We made sure that there was like no botting possible. We created a free mint system that was like token gated the actual mint, so bots can't occur. We like made sure there was like no FOMO. We let people like 5 days to register their wallets, cleared out bots, and the mint window for mint stones like remains open to this day. We don't force anyone to mint anything. Any airdrops that were given out, those airdrops are added to the mint, so anyone that mints afterwards gets all of the perks from like before. So we really thought about how we could do this in the most ethical, fair, and like community driven way possible. And it's just like amazing to see like how far we've come and like all of the things we've been able to do up until this point.
And so I know that you put out a dope thread, but for those who haven't seen the thread or are going to go check after I talk about it, can you give us like a little rundown on, what what this past year has been like, obviously running and trying to build out a project?
It's been absolutely crazy, man. Of course, like with everything, like there's hype cycles, and it's just the way like things work. And we were like really, really good at like retaining hype and retaining attention for a very long time because of the way like things were set up. Like we made sure that it was a like fairly priced mint, like 0.05 ETH at the time. The lowest I think anyone else was like minting at the time, and with the promise of like, you know, getting access to the entire ecosystem for that price. But the reason we priced it so low was because of the way NFTs were like set up. So if we could keep generating interest through activations, we would be getting perpetual royalties the whole time, and those royalties would be able to drive the activations forward and forward. So for the first, I think from August to like December, January, we were going like balls to the wall, man. Like there was activations constantly. We were doing quests. I don't know if like anyone was a part of it, but there was a lot of like playbook and blueprints that Artifact set out with like the monolith and like the questing, and that's like such an amazing way of like keeping engagement while you're building out a product. So we did the exact same thing with our like relic, where we put out this relic, and we did like the trials of the seven. The relic had like 7 rings, so the community had to complete like 7 quests. But these quests we went crazy with, man. I was there devising these puzzles like myself, uh, on the fly, like every week a different puzzle, a different quest where the community had to come and solve like a riddle. And once that riddle was solved, it would like direct it, like the community to a link on our website. And on the website, everybody had to come and vote on the symbols that were related to that quest. It was crazy, man. Like there was like 500-600 votes on like symbols, and so it wasn't just a thing where there's just a few people participating in the quest, like the masterminds and the brains of the community. We took it to a place where absolutely everybody could get involved to some degree, and I think that's what was important. I think that's what, you know, drew like lots of attention and people towards us. So after these 7 quests, the relic opened, and also like per quest, we asked everyone to like sign an attendance signature to say that they attended the quest, because at the end we would reward everyone that participated. And by the end of the 7, you know, quests and trials, we had something like 280,000 signatures, which is crazy. But obviously a lot of them were botted, and staying true to our, you know, ethos and ethics, and making sure that bot entries are always purged. We purged over 200,000 that were botted, and I think there was like 15,000 unique registrations and participations recorded, which is absolutely crazy in a bear market. This was when Gwei was at gas was at like 3 or 4, so like the market was dead, but we were still like getting that kind of like attention. Um, and then from there, like the relic opened and everyone got their guardian avatars. And of course, our aim for like this project, and with everything we do, we like try and carve our own path. We don't like follow any metas. We try and innovate as much as we can. So the avatars that we released, when they, you know, again, it was free. Like the relic, the airdrop, all you had to do is like burn it for free plus gas to get your guardian armor avatar. They all came out of the relic looking exactly the same, with the idea that, you know, instead of like AI generating the, you know, the collection through some sort of algorithm, that the community would organically curate the collection themselves through upgrading their avatars and things like that, all in like video as well. So it's not like these static PFPs. And then on top of that, all of them have like stats like vitality, strength, speed, magic, luck, which all are on chain. You can go on OpenSea. All of them have different like attributes where, and then the community, again, it was a case of making sure that you can retain attention. And the way we do that is giving holders something, a task to come back to every week. So we on the smart contract level, the smart contract itself holds like these functions where you can stake your echo stone. The echo stone provides you with these shards every week. Your guardian provides like shard slots, and then you can apply those shards to your guardian to like level it up. But at the time when we devised it, like gas was so low, and we were looking at the numbers, and it would cost something like maybe, I don't know, 20-30 cents a week to upgrade your avatar, which doesn't sound like a lot. But as soon as gas starts spiking like it would now, it would cost, you know, $10 a time to upgrade your avatar. So we had to then devise a whole other platform, like a symbiotic off-chain platform where users and holders can come and make all of these upgrades with the same like limitations. Every week there's only a certain amount you can go up, so people can't just boost and paywall their way up to the top. But yeah, you can do all of these upgrades off chain, and the changes are reflected on chain for free, like dynamically. So yeah, we're doing everything we can to like push forward and innovate and try and do things different, man, in a cool and dope way.
And I really love what you guys have built. Like the way you kind of built it from the ground up, like with the focus on trust and consistency, like doing things right. And that I mean, that's one of the great things about that you all had. The whole team had quite a bit of experience in the NFT space already, and you kind of knew to avoid some of those same tactics, which I really appreciate. And that resonated with me because I get tired of just kind of the typical, pump and dump kind of project where they're just looking for exit liquidity. But it's like, no, I want to be a part of a community and a team that actually like looks more forward thinking and building stuff out. And the fact that, that you guys took security and authenticity and stuff very seriously, like that means a lot to me as a community member. And like you guys were also like, you showed such an amazing way to utilize some of these, artifact files with the cinematics. Oh, they're just like, especially like the first one came out the gate, right, kicking people upside the head. Like that was a game changer, and people just like, it opened a lot of eyes. They were like, oh snap, this is okay. This is where this stuff is headed. So yeah, that was such an epic piece. But yeah, like the Echo Stones, the Guardian avatars, which like those Guardians, like they look so clean, and I always love seeing them out in the multiverse. Like if it's an event like for On Cyber, Spatial, or Hyperfly, I feel like I always see a couple of Guardians in there, and they look so amazing. But also like the quest, the Twitch hangouts, the games, like it was just so much fun. Like you guys created such a great community, which is just so hard to do in this space, right? Especially like in a bear market. But I never did win one of those damn pinball games. Still bitter about that. But yeah, I've never put together a quest like you were talking about, the kind of what goes into that. I can only imagine how much time and energy went into that. And kind of like the artifact quests, I was there more for spirit and for fun. I really didn't contribute a whole lot because I guess I suck at puzzles and quests. But I will always be, and I love the live stream you guys did during the quest, because like every time that we messed something up, it was always funny. So like that it's like a win-win when you're doing that. And the 15K like interactions, that's quite a lot, man. That's kudos on that. Like just well done. Like the experience up to this point is just it's been really top notch, guys.
Nah, I really, really appreciate that. I just want to, I got some like crazy stats from like the quest sort of thing, because ultimately, like as a brand and like as a project, what you're trying to do is like gain analytics, because if you ever want to go and like, I don't know, sell your IP to, or license out your IP or anything like that, you want to gain as many analytics as possible. So everything that we've done has been like devised in a way where we can like gain those sort of numbers and stuff. So we did the live streams on purpose. We devised the way like everyone has to come online to like vote on these like symbols together in order to generate more clicks per user. We made sure it was difficult, so like if there was a mistake, the thing would refresh and people have to click a lot more. So like these are the analytics we got from like that live quest sort of period, which ran over like 5 weeks or so. We had like 9,000 live views, 45,000 chat messages, what's it, 51,000 unique page visitors on our own website, and 194,000 page views, 515,000 page clicks, all on our own website. So we're taking people off of Twitter. That's like one of the hardest things to do as a brand, is like directing traffic away from where it usually is into your own sort of like onto your own website. So we managed to get people off of Twitter, which is like the hardest thing, take them to our own website and like amass these kind of analytics, and everything was designed in order to like do these things. So we're super proud of that.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's one thing I wanted to ask about real quick, and then I'll throw it to Ferry. But you guys have really crushed like the ability to pivot and stay like true to what's going on in Web3. And I think to me, it just looks like you guys just have great like entrepreneurial like mindsets. So Yobs, I know you got a great background when it comes to like hustling and just making things happen. So I feel like it wouldn't be like justice to sit here and talk about all the crazy things you're doing now without highlighting some of the dope stuff you've done in the past. So like, what do you mind giving us that like that background on how you started as a artist and started really even making money as an artist? I would say, I guess, or however it came about.
Or maybe Yobs, go back to when you were 3 years old, your first experience drawing.
Yeah, that's where I'll start, because like I think that's where like it all begins. It all begins like it all stems from like a source of like, I don't know, inspiration or something. And I think I just remember like as a kid, when I love like anime. I love like Dragon Ball Z, all of those sort of things. And I think it was the time where I like fully realized I think I might be like a good artist was in like primary school or something. I think I was drawing a little bit before this, but in primary school, I remember, I don't know if you guys have it like anywhere else in the world, but in the UK, if like your teacher isn't there that day, then your class gets split up into all of the other classes, and then you basically for that day don't really do any work, sort of thing. So I just remember being in a year above's like class or something like that. I was in year 2 or 3. I don't know how old you are at that time, maybe 8 or 9.
No, yeah.
And
What year did you say?
yeah, two
No,
or
that's like
three.
6.
So, right, younger, awesome. So like 5, 6 years old, and I was put in like a year 6 class, and obviously I'm not learning like year 6 whatever algebra that they're doing. So the teacher just gave me like some paper and a pencil and just told me to like draw, and I drew this like super dope drawing of like Ryu from Street Fighter, and the whole class went absolutely mental over it. And it like made me feel so good. I was like, oh shit, man, this is crazy. This feeling is awesome. So I think that's what like set about the sort of like creative in me. And then the other thing was one like the opposite end of that was my older brother was like quite a creative person. He did like drama class. He was an artist in his younger age and everything as well. So I always used to like look up to him. And we'd have like these drawing competitions, and he would draw something, I would draw something, and then we used to live in like these flats, these block of flats, believe it or not, opposite Ferre. And I didn't even know her at the time, but we lived in these block of flats, and I was on the first floor, and our friends lived up on the 6th floor. So every time we used to draw something, we'd go up there together, but we'd like swap pictures over, and we'd ask them who drew the better picture. And I would lose every single time. Literally every time I'd get demolished, I'd get smoked. And I just remember one time, like we took it up and they chose my picture, and I was like, I fucking made it, man. I beat you. And then like from then I'd draw so much, and my older brother would always shit on it, man. He'd be like, nah, this is trash. This is trash. You're not good. And it would just like force me into drawing even better and better. And I think that's like where it stemmed. When other kids were in the like park, I'd be sitting with my mum just drawing Dragon Ball Z characters. I was just like drawing all the time. I just absolutely loved it. It was like, my safe space. I was quite an anxious kid. I don't know. I feel like I wasn't very social. I didn't like really get along with people too much. So I'd have like a lot of anxiety. So I feel like art and drawing was like my safe space. So whenever I got the chance, because when you're doing art, you don't need to talk to no one. You get me? So and people come over to you if they're interested and start talking to you. So you're never the one that has to spark the conversation. So I think that helped me a lot.
Bro, look at this conversation starter now. Damn, my bad, Perry. Go ahead.
It's okay. I just find it so bizarre that every time I hear Yob say that he wasn't very confident, he wasn't very social, but then I hear things like, oh, I was in, I was performing on stage in high school, I was dancing, and then I went to become a DJ. I'm just like, but how did any of that happen? So how did you transition from being so, you know, anxious and like secluded into yourself, and then pushing out there and going on stage?
You know what it is, man? Like, I think I've always loved,
Attention.
you know, attention, but like not in a, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I've like loved being the center of attention in some acknowledgement. Yeah, probably acknowledgement and like appreciation more than anything. And I just remember, man, I used to love Michael Jackson. So if you lot don't know, man, I'm like the best dancer you've ever met, by the way. Yeah, I'm like an incredibly good dancer, and this is all attributed to like my dad, Michael Jackson. I used to like put on his videos. I had like 2 or 3 of his like VHS tour tapes. I used to put them on and watch them in slow motion and copy like his moves. And I remember one time, again, it was my older brother, the core of all of this like evil. He came and he showed me how to moonwalk in our little corridor outside our flat. And I looked at it and I was like, that looks a bit wrong. So then I went and watched Michael Jackson videos frame by frame and copied the moonwalk and learned how to do the moonwalk. And then I went out into the playground and I was moonwalking everywhere. People would go crazy. The kids would go nuts. They'd be like, oh shit, he knows how to moonwalk. And I remember I used to moonwalk so much like that my shoes ended up having like holes in them. And we weren't like a very well-off family. My mum's a single mum. She's taking care of 6 boys by herself. And she just like bought me a new pair of trainers. And I went out moonwalking all over concrete. Within a week, I had holes in the bottom of my shoes and I started getting beats for it. So yeah, from then I started like performing in like the talent, like high school talent shows, to the point where me and my little dance crew would take over. We'd always be the main act. And like we was acting high school, it was like a pretty ghetto high school. Like people were like throwing chairs in the air. It was crazy.
Oh my God. What a visual you're portraying there, Yobs. Like, first of all, like I'm going to need to see some of these moves IRL next time we link up. I hope you can. I'm assuming you still practice them daily in the mirror, part of your daily routine when you wake up, maybe before a bowl of mayo or something. But I like.
Nah, I don't even need to practice. That's how good I'm joking. But a little joke story. One day I'll probably like release the footage from the archives. But I was like 16 years old or something, and my sister calls me up, my older sister, and she's like, "Hey, there's a music video being shot in like central London somewhere. Go and be in it, yeah." And I was like, "Say less. I'm making my way right now." I get there and it's like some Bollywood like production. I walk downstairs and there's like basically 3 or 4 people there. And I have no idea what's going on. And because I'm like such a social, like nervous wreck, once I've walked in now, I don't know how to walk out of the situation. I don't know how to just be like, all right, I'm going to go now. But it ended up being like a 10-hour shoot or something like that. And it was me dancing to like some Bollywood music that I had no idea what the words were. They had a girl there that was supposed to be like the main like sort of love interest dancer for the song, but they were filming me the whole time. And then they were like, "Oh, we want to do some like, I don't know, henna tattoos for the video." And then I was like, "Oh, well, I know how to paint." So then now I'm like the henna tattoo artist for the video as well. And then when the video came out, ended up being some like love song, but I'm like the main person in the video, just dancing. It's hilarious. So like I get myself into these situations all the time, but I suppose it builds XP, it builds character.
Bro,
Bro,
send
you
me
got to
out a
release that
dance
footage.
request.
Yes.
Yeah, we need this ASAP.
Send it, Yobs, send it. That is the craziest, funniest video I've ever seen. You guys are gonna love it.
I'll post it after the spaces. You'll get a little treat for your evening.
But you have
Oh
to
my
show
God,
them
I
what you
can't
look
wait.
like now. You have to do your dancing now as well, so then they can compare how much you've improved.
I don't know about that one, champ.
I'm excited to grade you on your dancing skills. I have very little, just like drawing skills, so I'm excited to see you're multi-talented. shit going on.
Nah. I'm telling you now, you can't gauge my dancing capabilities from this video because like it wasn't top form abilities here. It's like they reused the same clip like 30 times. So yeah. Next time we go, next time there's a CloneX event, next time there's music, anyone dance battle me, and I will you got served you on the dance floor, and we can put up a prize as well. So
Bro, you ain't
we
gotta
can
say
win.
nothing. We drop in PYT by Michael Jackson, and we gonna let what happens happen. You know, that's just how it's gonna go.
Bro, if it's a Michael Jackson song, you're getting smoked. Every year you're getting smoked. I'm telling you now.
I think Yobs is gonna show up in his digital like diamond gloves and just kick ass.
For my sister's wedding as well. I did like a Michael. Dude, there's actually two, man. Whenever there's a wedding, like my mum, I think also bless her soul. Yeah, she obviously just wants to show off her like son's talents, but definitely a huge factor into why I've got all of these social like anxieties, man. Like whenever there was a like we're Afghan, like family background Afghan, yeah. So first of all, they don't even know what body popping is. They know a bit about Michael Jackson and whatnot, yeah. But like, she would make me perform in front of her guests every time without fail, to the point where like I'm crying at the end. I'm like, please no. And then
So
I
you were
just put on the
actually
Michael
Michael
Jackson.
Jackson. You were literally
Yeah,
Michael.
bro. She'd slap on the music, and I'd just be there like dancing while I'm crying. It's so funny.
Yo, this is the alpha that we needed. I didn't know we were gonna get this. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. This is that's why I feel like it's a good time to ask people to come join and ask questions or give some flowers to Yobs if you want, because otherwise we might go down a very deep rabbit hole of mayo eating, body popping, little Yobs in this.
But I don't know why you're not going on like eating mayo is a weird thing.
Uh,
Like it's just a normal. It's like ketchup and mayo are like the two main condiments. I said I like mayo, and you lot are like throwing it at me. What's going on?
whoa. It was how the combination was set up, y'all. So for reference, and this is a recorded space, so if anybody wants to hear this and then be like, damn, I might need to rethink my Clone Force, my Clone Force bags because of the mayo eating. I get it, but this guy really said his go-to was a chicken, peanut butter, mayonnaise, lettuce something sandwich, and I don't know, man. Peanut butter and mayo, we just can't mix those two. We gonna let it slide this time though.
Listen, toast, peanut butter, mayo, cucumber, chicken, honey. Try it. It's literally umami flavor explosion in your mouth.
The one flaw from the man's jobs. Anyways, Fairy, what's going on?
Oh, trust me, there's plenty more of those weird food combinations. But let's talk about something a bit more flavorful. How about your experience working for Artifact? How the hell did that even happen? And how did we get here?
Ah, well, that's like all down to like Zaptio, to be fair. We can start it with like how I got into like customization and stuff. So when I was like a kid, like in high school as well, I was like, I just wanted to like start customizing clothing at first. I'd like use a paintbrush and like fabric paints and do like a few like dope things. But because the way like paint soaks into fabric, you have to like dip your paintbrush back into the paint every second. So it took me like 4 or 5 hours just to paint like one t-shirt. And I was thinking to myself, if I want to actually sell these, because people aren't paying a little 15-year-old kid more than like £10 to like paint something for them. And I was like, £10, 5, 6 hours, it ain't really mathing. So I was like, I need to figure out a way of doing this way faster. So I literally begged my mum for an airbrush, and this is like when they weren't really available. You couldn't buy them in the UK. I had to get imported from America. And I remember looking through one of those like catalogs, an actual catalog, paper catalog, and I found like this airbrush kit. It had a compressor, it had an Iwata HPCS 2000, like top of the range crazy airbrush, and it had like a VHS instructional video, and I was begging my mum to buy it, like literally crying for weeks until she caved and got me this thing. And then I started like airbrushing t-shirts. Let me post a few of like the things in the thing here. But essentially, started like painting t-shirts for a place called Global Customs in Shepherd's Bush. I was like 15, 16 at the time. It was summer holidays. And I'd get something like 15 to 20 orders, I think, like a week. But they would only pay me 15 quid as well. But when you do like, you know, I don't know, £15 times like 20 orders a week, you know, it was nice, man. I felt, and because like I grew up poor as well, man, like I was thinking, raw, I got like £300 in my hand. I'm actually rich, man. Shit. So I was like flossing. I was like, yeah. So then it went from that, and I've been customizing like things ever since. And I can't remember how it even came about, who approached me, or how it was approached, or how like Zaptio even connected. I really, really can't remember. But he asked me to paint a bag for him, a Go Yard bag, I think it was. And that's like the blue eyes, three-headed blue eyes white dragon that you guys may have seen. I'll post it in a second when I stop talking, because I really don't know how to multitask. And then from there, like a little like relationship formed as he was doing like loads of customs with like Frey Customs and that. Did loads of like little sneakers and trainers for them. One of the sickest ones was, I think one time he called me at like 1 a.m. and he's like, bro, we've got an emergency. Bro, let me do this. Like, bro, we've got an emergency. Yeah. And I was like, shit, what's going on? He's like, we've got a sneaker we need to do for Ronaldinho by like 5 a.m., like 6 a.m. is going out like in the morning. But what they were doing, I think like it messed up. And they were like, we need someone to do this. And I was like, say less, man. Literally that night, he came over with some black Air Forces. We mashed out these sneakers. It was pretty simple. And then literally like the next day, I see Ronaldinho holding like the trainers I painted in his hand. So yeah, it's like, it's pretty cool that he's like provide like these like little opportunities. And from there, we did a few drops with Frey Customs, did a few sneakers with them. And then I think it was literally lockdown, the first ever like lockdown for COVID, as everybody was losing their jobs. I get another call from Zaptio, and he's like, "Hey man, do you wanna come? We've got a studio. We're starting a brand called Artifact. I need you to paint some sneakers, and I'll post which one that was as well." And then it like started again, like back from there. Like did a nice Fortnite based sneaker. I think it was Chris Yalmanova, that Christian. He designed the sneaker for like a competition. We came in there and it was so jokes, man. He gave me the sneakers and he was like, so do you need anyone to like make any stencils for you, this and that? And I was like, nah, freehand, I'll do it, leave it up to me. And he was like, wow, the magician. Smashed that out, and it was insane. And then from there he was like, well, you might as well just come in, we've got tons of like sneakers to customize, so you can be like I think my job role was master airbrush artist, like legit. So I became the master airbrush artist for Artifact. When everyone else was losing their jobs, Zaptio gave me one, so big up to him every single time, man.
Crazy. I see we got Boo up here, but I gotta ask real quick. How did you like transition so like easily from just painting on clothes to shoes, etc.? I remember you had said something about it kind of in like another spaces, but I want to hear you you just reiterate it again sometimes, because it's very interesting.
I think like with the customization, like clothing and sneakers, they were like hand in hand. Everybody wanted both. So when I was doing it in at Global Customs in Shepherd's Bush, I was like literally customizing the whole of West London's like wardrobe, man. And that was sneakers and clothing. It was like pretty much all of it. It was only after like I think meeting Zaptio where I ended up like going towards like luxury goods and stuff. So that's when I kind of started doing like the more expensive stuff, because there's no way I'm affording no like Go Yard bag or LV bag to like pay it on it. Like, rude, I could barely afford a jam sandwich right now, or ever. I've never been able to like save anything because I'm always putting it back into my art. So yeah, man, shout out to Zaptio one more time.
Crazy. Yeah, we got to pin some of those bags you've done up. While we do that, Boo, what's going on, man? What questions you got for Yobs?
Yo, what's good, everybody? Can you hear me? I'm joining on desktop. Can you hear me? I'm joining on desktop.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
Whoa, on desktop? Sheesh.
It keeps muting me, but maybe this is what we'll deal with. Hey, Yobs, I just saw you answer one of my questions with Zaptio's recent. It's really cool to see that it's come full circle where that bag started and then where it ended up at the Nike's headquarters. My question for you is, what's the best way to learn color theory? Because you seem to have it down.
Oh man, like to be fair, like color theory is actually it's pretty, in my opinion, like quite difficult to actually get right, because you get like lost in the source of, like, when you open up, you know, for example, like Photoshop, and you see like the color picker, color spectrum, you're like, shit, man, there's so many like different colors to choose from. And then from there, you try and like matching another color to another color, like that works like really well, is like very difficult as well. But I think I learned a lot of color theory actually in like university. So I went and done animation in Portsmouth University, and one of the like, you know, side courses that you had to do was like still life, and I learned a lot from this teacher, even though I didn't want to do all this painting stuff when I was trying to like learn animation at the time. But yeah, like there was one thing that like that really helps is, you know, getting some paints and actually like messing around with like mixing colors yourself. So when we started this course, we were only allowed to buy red, yellow, blue, and white. We weren't even allowed to buy black. They were like, you're not allowed to use black, because the way like black pigment in paints work is that there's no like actual deep like black in nature. You don't see it. So whenever you try and use black paint in your paintings, it throws everything off. Like it throws everything off. So your aim to like create blacks is by using red, black, and blue, and you can get like different shades of these colors. So you can have cold reds, warm reds, cold, like there's cold colors and warm colors, and we were only allowed to like buy one of each. So one thing you can try is like we had to like learn how to mix black with just the paints that we had, and then you can like lift up the colors in other ways. So one way is to actually get involved with, you know, real paints where you're not thrown by these like millions of colors of the spectrum on a screen. And then the other thing to do 100% every single time is literally just go on like Pinterest, or yeah, Pinterest is like an amazing one, and just Google like color swatches, and you'll get loads and loads of people like create color swatches where there's like a bunch of colors, 4 or 5 colors, 10 colors, or whatever, that just work really well together. So the main thing is, depending on like what your aims are, you never really want to put like opposite colors together. And by opposites, I mean like red and yellow make orange, so blue would be the opposite of that, because, you know, you don't use blue to make those oranges. But they say don't put them together, but at the same time, those are really cool ways of getting like popping color combinations together also. So it's really up to you. There is no rules. There's absolutely no rules to like this creativity thing, man. But yeah, like watch some YouTube videos. There's a lot of people that do like loads of color theory. I'm actually not that fantastic with it, I'll be honest with you. It's one of like probably my weakest areas. I just feel like I think you just train your eye. Like you just know when you see it. So you got to play around and don't get frustrated until you see what works best for you. And if it works for you, then that's all that matters. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks.
Thank you, Yobs, and congrats again on 1 year of Clone Force. You were episode 10 for me. You inspire me every day. You motivate me every day. And you had the best alpha ever about airbrushes. Owada, made in Japan. Spend that extra money. Thank you, Yobs. You keep yobbing it.
My guy, man. Thank you so much. And same to you, man. Unlimited energy, the most electric guy in the room, man. You're an inspiration to everyone here as well. Thank you for doing what you do. Uplifting creators always, man. Much love.
So one thing Boo mentioned was that bag, and that was like one of my favorite moments being in Yob's presence was when we were at the Gagosian in line, and Zaptio stepped out rocking that bag, and it was your first time to see him IRL rocking it. It was pretty dope. That that bag is so sick, man. If you guys haven't seen it, definitely go check that out. And the Bones Nike, the AF1s, I think they were AF1s that you were rocking with the Bones on them in New York. That was one of my favorite pieces too, as well. So yeah, I just love it, man. You're so multi-talented. Even that sketch that you've been working on with all the clones on it is turning so epic so fast. Man, yeah, just keep crushing it, fam.
Nah, I appreciate it, man. I think like one thing with like my creative journey is, again, because like socially inept growing up, I never ever wanted to. I never felt comfortable asking for, you know, help or asking for any like type of favors or anything like that. So when it came to like creativity, I was always trying to do it myself in any capacity possible. So I remember like I started getting into like music. At a point, like I was working with like a team as a graphic designer, and they were in the studio. I was in the studio with them like all the time, like listening to them like make music. And I was like, man, listen, I want to like start making beats. I want to start like, yeah. First, I started making like raps, and I was like, okay, now I rap. I need to like make beats to go onto these raps. So then I started making music, and then from there I was like, shit, man, I got music now. I need them to be played somewhere, like a radio. So I started learning how to DJ so I could start my own radio show. I started like my own radio show, kept that going for like a bit. I think it was like 10 viewers, all of them in the room at the same time with me. And then from there, like I started a like whole DJ career. Man, like it's just always about like, if I don't know, if you want to do something, I think like just go and do it, and like learn how to do it, and you will like learn along the way. And there's nothing bad that can come of that. I mean, like all you're gonna do is like gain some experience. You get me?
Damn. This man, I swear, Yobs, you just told like the British story of myself, I feel like, in a way. The corrupt FM vibes got me for a second though. I almost died. You can't you better than that. We gonna get you on a worldwide tour soon though. I wanna see these DJ sets. But Rupsy, let's throw it to another painter. Rupsy, what's going on, man?
Yo, man! Just so happy I caught this spaces with Yobs. Now I actually know what a Yobs is. I know what you are now. Uh, no, for real, man. I'm just so impressed with your passion for this space and for everything you do. The work itself is incredible. I think that speaks for itself. The work ethic is incredible, and you're a vibe, bro. Like you were one of the first people that I really like that caught my attention when I got into the artifact community. Just hearing you talk, and you're funny, you're outgoing, you're super creative, you're super kind, and I think it's a beautiful addition to an already beautiful economy and family that we have. So I just wanted to come up, man, and send my love to you and say thank you for everything you're doing and keep it up, man. I look forward to it, bro. Thank you.
Man, shit, man. I'm like honestly one of the worst people like taking compliments. I don't know how to handle them, but like legit, man. Like something like that coming from you, like seeing your artwork is absolutely crazy to me because, like I thought I was good, but man, this guy Rupsy, shit, man, blows it out the water, bro. Like so, if, I'm sure everyone's already seen the shit, but if you ain't, Rupsy Banks, keep an eye on this dude, man. He's been killing it for ages and will continue to kill it. But thank you for the kind words, man. I truly appreciate it.
Game respects game, always. Gotta love it. But Yobs, one of the things I wanted to touch on, but we got kind of sidetracked at one point or another, is the story behind, gathering everyone for Clone Force, because y'all did really get like a super team together for that project. And I was like, I think that was one of the parts that impressed me the most almost. And then y'all dropped that second trailer with Anya, and I was like, all right, never mind. I was like, these guys are they too far ahead. It's just not fair. But yeah, tell me about how you were able to assemble all these just like super dope, just Avenger quality level creators.
Man, I ain't even gonna lie. I don't know how I did it, man. But like, it kind of started with, with like cloneware. When the space, like the air, what's it called, the space pods, and all of that dropped, and people were making, customizations and like assets to put in your space pod and like little things. Beb, shout out Wiss. Also making like crazy, crazy things for people to like, put in their like space pods, decorative and all of that. And while they were doing that, I was thinking, man, like I wanna also like create these things to put in there, but like think maybe like a little bit ahead of the game if possible. Like knowing that clones are gonna have their like the bodies soon. And the 3D files, I was like, I'm gonna start making like sneakers and like clothing for clones, essentially call it cloneware. And then but made them so that they could be displayed in your loot pods, because like the loot pod had like a display wall for like sneakers and all this stuff, but there was nothing to display in there. So like in my mind, I was thinking like the loot pod, the vision for it was like creating like a store almost inside the loot pod where there's like sneakers and all these things, and that's like how I got back into like learning 3D after like not doing it since like uni. Learn how to like model and all these things. And yeah, just like got with the vibes, giving out like airdrops constantly. Like anyone that asked for an airdrop for anything, we was just like doing all of this stuff, and it was like an amazing time for the space. Bull market vibes. And then from there, like the Artifact Creator Challenge came out. I think just before that, I was like starting to have thoughts, because there was one sneaker I put out called like the Ninjas. It's like a yellow and blue sneaker based literally off the Ninjas character from like a Power Rangers series. And like you see that character at the end of like one of the videos I made. But with that, I always wanted to like push the display pieces, because every sneaker I made like a display case to accompany that as like the tier up buying option or whatever you want to call it. And for that one, I created like like a mecha hand coming out of like the circle in like the loot pod, and like learned how to animate this hand, and like the sneakers were floating in the hand. And then when the creator challenge came out for the loot pod skins, the challenge was obviously to like make a loot pod skin, or it could be anything that was in there, but mainly people were making skins. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna make like a Power Ranger style like home base. And I was struggling, dude. I was struggling so much. You have no idea. I'd open Blender every single day trying to like make this thing, but like my modeling skills, like I think just weren't there for it. And then instead of just like giving up on the challenge, I was like, okay, like what can I work on where I'm actually like a bit more passionate about what I'm doing, because I hadn't been focusing on the whole like loot pod skin stuff. I was making like more ornamental like statue collection stuff. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna make, based off like those ninja sneakers, I'm gonna make something my own, like sort of like universe type of thing, statue, called it Clone Force. And then I made a statue called the God of Clone Force, and then started like building like a little bit of a lore around it. And then just from there, like the idea came to me where I was thinking um, about like releasing a project or starting a project that would like sort of like, utilize the CloneX IP that was about to come out with like the 3D files in a way where it's nostalgic to the people that are in the space, because like everyone that's here in like NFTs and stuff, most people 20 to 40 years old or something like that, they're not the youngest generation. People that have a bit of money to be spending on NFTs, they're gonna be the ones that have like sort of an affinity to all of that sort of old school Super Sentai Power Rangers type thing. And who I love Power Rangers, by the way. I'm like a Power Rangers maxi, man. I was like, wouldn't it be cool to just have like my own project based on like Power Rangers, the same sort of thing? We're not like reinventing the wheel on like that sort of concept, but taking it to the blockchain. So like I came up with like the idea, and when I went to New York and met Safa, I just pitched it to him. I was like, I've got an idea. Here's what it is. What do you think? And he was like, I'm on it. I was like, cool. And then next went to Top Rack, where we came back from what's it called? New York. I messaged him because I'd seen like his work, absolutely crazy, like insanely talented dude, insanely talented,
And he
man.
won the Loot Pod challenge, so you were like, I need to get in on this guy before Artifact does.
Nah,
What?
in fact, yeah. What happened was I messaged him and I was like, "Yo, Top Rack, I've got this idea. What do you think?" And like I told him the idea, sent him like a few files I had. Within like 2 hours, he sends me like 3, 4 renders, and I was like, "Bro, this is fucking crazy, man. Let's run it." And he's like, "I'm in." The next day, he won the
Oh my god,
challenge,
yeah.
and in my head, I was,
Yeah.
yeah. In my head, I was thinking, rah, if I had like messaged him the next day, he'd be thinking, who's this dickhead? Just trying to capitalize off my fame, sort of thing. And then from there, obviously he introduces me to Nox. Nox is like very good friends of his, and he's like the ultimate goated developer. He's worked with like Google, LVMH, L'Oreal, building out like AR systems for L'Oreal where people can come on like try makeup without trying on makeup in like mirrors. Done like some activation for Dior where you can go and build a bag in their store on like these touchscreen pads, and then they build their bag for you, whatever. So like he's absolutely insane. And like Nox, whenever like I've asked him any sort of question, like, oh, can we build this, or like, because I'm like mad creative with the way I want to do like activations and deployments, his answer's always been anything is possible. And I'm like, let's fucking go. So like 3 in a row, like just yes. I hadn't pitched anybody else, and then Top Rack introduced me to Eddie as well, which is like our lead animator. You've seen like he's worked on Transformers, Rise of the Beasts, Into the Spider-Verse. Was it The Rift? All of these movies, man, crazy like Hollywood productions as like a lead animator. And he wasn't even in the space at all at the time, but I think he was like quite interested. So I got on a call with him, told him the idea, and he's like, I'm in. And all of these with like no promises of like anything happening. Like we had no money, we had no guarantee of anything running, but everyone was like in. And then from there, it was Loka. Once the once we released our first ever video, because we assembled our like Clone Force Guardians, the lineup of like actors or the clones that would be present in the video, like well before like Clone Force actually like released. So Ferre, Alts, Hondro, Anya, Icon, Zap. Hopefully I haven't left
Randy.
anyone out. Randy, Mr. Randy himself. Like we assembled that team, and Loka was actually supposed to be one of the people in there, the undead. And then when we released this video, the first ever one, and we got like 7,000 followers in a day. I was like, shit, man. Like, if we had money right now, even like if we had the tiniest amount of like money right now to like, build out like our first deployment, we'd make such a difference. So I said this to like the little Clone Force Guardians group, and Loka was like, "What do you need?" And it all started from there. So then Loka came on as our like COO, Chief Operating Officer, and he's been taking care of business since day one. And yeah, man, like it's everybody. Like I hadn't pitched anybody else apart from the people that I just mentioned, and every single one of them said yes. And together we just started this thing, and like it feels like destiny, man. It feels like magic, honestly.
Yeah, y'all put something amazing together, because it's anybody who's worked in the creative field understands how hard it is to work in teams, but then how like pivotal it is when you do get like the right amount of talent together. And like the type of people y'all got, it's just like it's dumb, bro. It's Avengers level. Like I said, I don't even know. I don't even know how you just magically were like, yeah, like, do you guys want to do it? And they're like, sure. Like most of these cases would just like fall through after like a month, not, still be trucking along a year later, crushing in the bear market. But yeah, man, it's super awesome to see. I'm excited to see what y'all do next. But let's throw it to Vi, who just jumped up, and anybody else who wants to join and give some flowers or give a shout out to Yobs. Feel free to yob on up. But Vi, it's all you.
It's politely and respectfully V. but it's all good. One, I'm so what's the correct word? Amused by getting to listen to Yobs speak this entire time, basically, because like he's such an animated speaker and he has so much like just like enthusiasm. And you can tell that like you are super in love with like what you do in the world that you're creating around yourself and the people that you like to work with. So I think that's really dope. And just know that like seeing that and hearing that from other artists is very enjoyable. I have 3 questions for you, if it's okay to slightly pivot from Clone Force, but not really. 1, do you ship hand painted things to the United States? 2, I saw that you imported like the space pod build into Fortnite using Unreal, and that was super dope. So I'd want to know like what kind of Clone Force related or not sort of activation or like creator game or whatever it may be, like what would you build in Fortnite? And then 3, when will we play Fortnite? Thank you.
First of all, I eat, breathe, sleep, shit this stuff, man. I absolutely love this space. I absolutely love art. So thank you for those comments because that means a lot to me as well. First of all, do I ship hand painted things to the US? I mean, somebody in the world does. DHL, UPS, someone's gonna take that and send it over. So yeah, like we could make something happen. I don't know if that was you trying to get me to like paint something for you. If it was, then I accept. If you were just asking if I can buy a painting from like the UK and then ship it over, then I mean, I suppose I can make that happen too. But yeah, like importing the stuff into like Fortnite, it's I think that Fortnite creative stuff is like absolutely next level. And I think there's a huge wave. It's something that we want to try and do as well. Like just democratizing creation. What Artifact has done is so next level and so future and forward thinking. It's absolutely outrageous. Like just to like tilt a little bit, yeah, like we've seen the democratization of music come into play and like what it's done for the music industry and for artists in the music industry in like fabulous and magical ways. Like whereas before, not even that long ago, 10-20 years ago, you needed to actually go and hire out a studio in order to be able to like record or make any sort of music, which means there was a huge barrier to entry for any sort of artist. But now literally Logic, Fruity Loops or whatever, you can make like production quality bangers from literally your home, from your computer. There's absolutely no limit now to like creators. So what Fortnite Creative are doing in terms of like democratizing game creation is absolutely crazy. And if someone can find a way of democratizing film production, you'll be onto something as well. But anyway, I can show you how to like put things into creative. It's like super easy because of the way like Artifact have set up their files, GLB. I think the only difference, the one like sort of thing I came across was because all of the textures are baked into the GLB, you're not going to get your real time like reflections and stuff. But Fortnite does a sick way. Like it still looked like really, really insane, even though like the textures were baked, you were still getting like nice lighting. But Harlan showed me his version in Unreal, and it was like 10 million times better. But we also for Clone Force, we were thinking to have a sort of activation in there because again, if you are a brand, if you are a project, it would be silly not to utilize this basically free marketing platform ultimately, man. Like the user base of Fortnite is outrageous. It's like I don't even know what the player base is, but I think it's like 15 million active players daily or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. And if you've like created a space in Fortnite where you can then like bring, you don't even need to have your own avatars. It's like people complain that you can't have your own avatars, which I would love as well. And that would be like fantastic. But think of it just from like a marketing perspective where users from all around the world, your Fortnite player base can come into a world that you've created where you're just plastering your brand everywhere, just like put Clone Force everywhere. Like people don't have to have the Clone Force experience inside, you know, Fortnite, but they'll come and learn about it, and then maybe come over and like, convert to you. So like the cost of acquisition for a customer through Fortnite is an absolutely incredible way of like, you know, obtaining like customers outside of like the ecosystem. Because when Ben says like the village, man, like this NFT village is tiny, bro. Like if you're like trying to market only to this space, you're not you know, it's not viable. There's not enough people for you to have like, you know, constant influx and inflow of like money. And people say that, you know, like Blur and everything, two middle fingers to them guys there, but like how they're the reason like the NFT market is still rolling, because they've generated so much volume, man. Like, dude, that volume that's generating isn't coming from outside sources. It's just whales playing games with each other. So it's all stupid anyway. But like, you need to find ways of bringing people from outside of the space. That is the way to grow your brand. It's not going to happen in here right now, because like users are dropping day by day rather than like going up. So yeah, man, use Fortnite Creative, get creative with the way you deploy your marketing, man. Oh, and Fortnite, literally whenever. Let's roll.
That's on Fortnite, right? To make the creative, it's not on Unity, because I just downloaded Unity.
Yeah, so it's on Fortnite, but it's like an Unreal, it's like an extra little plugin, or like a program that you download. It's called Unreal Editor. And you can basically use any Fortnite asset in the game. Like they've got the whole Fortnite pack, every single wall, brick, you know, barrel, everything there. You can use it to like build out your own, like, you know, worlds. Like it's insanely intuitive as well. So check it out.
Yeah, secretly, you got any other questions for Yobs while you're up here?
Yeah, what's up? Okay, so my question was, I need you to hold my hand and tell me how I could use all my assets that I got from Clone Force, because I have no idea what I'm doing. Probably the website's mad easy, but I'm so lazy. I hit you up. I told you so many people are probably in the same boat as me, bro, and I need that. Like, put me in the game, bro. I should be staking my stuff and getting shards, bro. What is this?
Say less, my guy. Send me a DM, or you can jump into our Discord anytime. Like there's so many people here. As the wonderful Gilbo just came up on stage as well, man. Like we've got a solid community, and my DMs are always open anytime if you want any sort of like help and stuff. We know that like the ecosystem we're building out can be like a little bit confusing, because there's like a lot to get past and over. But you know, we truly believe it's no more difficult than like your standard like game, or was it like character builder in a game and stuff like that. Like once you get the hang of it, then you'll go. But we just wanted to make sure that we're standing the test of time with what we're building, and in order to do that, we're gonna have to be a little bit complex at the start. But I appreciate you, man. Send me a message anytime, and we'll get you sorted, man.
Wait, also, did anybody talk about Yobs gear coming soon? Like, is he dropping anything? Like, he'd be the one to be dropping stuff, and we all want to collect your work. So, what's up with that?
I don't know, man. I haven't like really thought about it. Like our full focus is in like Clone Force, of course. So like anything like Clone Force is dropping is basically what I'm dropping. But if you don't want to see something, I mean, we could work on something. We could cook some customs up. We'll do something if people want it.
Yobs Force,
I
Clone
want it.
Force. Yeah, bro, we all want it.
Say less. It's gonna happen.
I would like to say that if you have any questions for Yobs, I'm his manager from now on. If you want, you can DM me. I will take care of everything. Don't worry. Of course, RTFKTcreators is my number one priority, and my time is mainly spent on him.
So this is the Gilbo, and I don't have any questions for y'all, but I want to give a shout out. You know, happy birthday to the family. You know, I'm looking around in this room right now, and there's a lot of clones. And you know, when I'm scrolling through Twitter, I see every one of you guys every day grinding hard And I'm like really emotional right now. And excuse me, this is really crazy for me to be acting like this. But I just mad love for Yobs, the RTFKT team. Um, I'm an artist in my own right. I'm 55 years old, guys. I have built two houses and designed them from the ground up and built them from the ground up. And we all create, right? And it's when we put our visions and our minds to work that we truly find ourselves as creators, right? Um, so I have mad love for this space and the artists and the creators of this space. And that's, when I saw Clone Force a year ago, I probably got in day 3, day 4. I don't know I forget what it was, but when I looked at the resume and I looked at the team and and I reached out and looked at the community of who these people were involved in, and I just saw art all around me. I saw art, and I love the art, and you guys keep building, you keep creating, and I'm gonna keep buying because that's what I do. And it's it's just mad love, and again, I appreciate you, Yobs. I appreciate the team here for giving Yobs a shout out. It's well deserved. The community, the community at Clone Force is great. We're resilient. We know it's slow times right now, but there's one thing this bear has taught all of us is patience and persistence, right? And it's just coming to the realization that you know God gives when you ask for help, right? So it's when we let go and just not worry about what the market's doing, but keep creating, and it will come. Greatness will come. So again, mad love, guys, and Gilbo out.
Man, words, I'm saying you now, will never be able to like form sentences great enough for me to tell you how like appreciative I am of you, man. Like Gilbo, absolute legend, been there like since day one. He's been supporting us from the rip, from the jump, every up, down, left, right, square, forward, X, R1. He's been there absolutely like ultimately supportive. And let me tell you, man, today, I don't know. See that thread I put out with the about like the Clone Force anniversary? I was working 4 hours. 4 hours I was putting this thread together, yeah. And I don't know, Twitter just rugged me, decided to log me out, yeah. As I was pressing post when the thread was finished, yeah. Went into my Discord, our safe space, the respite from the craziness of this world. And I was like, man, guys, you won't believe what happened. I might have to postpone this thread till Monday. And Gilbert was like, you got this, bro. We're going to see this thread today before the spaces comes out. And I was like, you know what, my guy? You're absolutely right. Back on it, back on the grind, got the thread together, posted it before the spaces. Thank you for the support, man. It means so much to me.
Like,
You deserve it, man. The project deserves it.
Love you, my friend. Thank you so much.
Gilbert came through. He caught me a little bit, about to get us all. I knew the space was going to go from like random laughter to emotional way too quick, because I feel like that's Jobs in a nutshell. Like he definitely has that like very deep emotional energy. So I'm glad it's been fitting, because this is definitely a great day to celebrate someone like yourself and what you guys have been doing. So I'm excited. I think the one question I always love asking people, and we got to hear it. We've heard about the castle in the sky, so you don't have to give that answer, yeah. But what's something that you look forward to for like Clone Force or for yourself in this space?
That's a really good question, man. I just suppose like in this space in like what we're in right now and what we're living is like such a space of opportunity, regardless of like what it might seem like at the moment. Um, it's such a space of opportunity, man. Like if you look, like you can put everything, like history repeats itself, especially like the way technology goes. like you can put this whole thing very akin to like, you know, the dot-com bubble, man. If you're here at the beginning of any kind of like platform, any kind of technology, you have such an opportunity to make something by default just by being here, and it's absolutely insane. So like, you know, we saw like a huge like bull run. We may never see something like that in the way it was and in the scopes that it was, and that's absolutely fine. Like the dot-com bubble had the exact same thing, but things move like faster as we get to like, you know, technology advances faster and things like that. But if you just like any of those dot-com, you know, companies, if you're here from now, just like building something out, whether that's a brand, and you yourself are a brand as well, like you are a brand, like you just showing up every day, replying, tweeting, you don't have to be even like a creator or anything, but you just being here, helping people, supporting people, uplifting people, that is you as a brand. Like people are going to know you, people are going to respect you. And the only reason I was able to go out and like shout at like Safa, Loka, and all these people like to help me on this project was because like I had amassed like some form of respect in the space just by being here. I wasn't doing like anything like truly like special. We were just showing up every day the same way, like, you know, everyone on the Artifact team like got hired. They were just here showing up. They were just here doing their thing, man. Like you just showing up from now in this space in the name of like, you know, the blockchain, you're gonna go places, man. Like don't forget that. And even when it seems tough, to show up every day, man. There's like so much opportunity to be had, and like we're here, we're pushing forward. What's sad is that there's always going to be like, you know, waves and ups and downs, and like the way people are gonna, because it's a business at the end of the day, there's going to be a lot of black politics involved. So like one thing I want to speak about is like, you know, Blur like removing royalties and creating it like this whole gamified like experience for like NFTs, um, taking like market share, forced OpenSea to their hand of like removing royalties as well. And there's like whole like there's talks about all of this all over the space, saying that, oh, like, you know, like removing royalties, projects should just go and find other sources of revenue, and that like may be, you know, fine for like the top projects that went and made their money in the bull run, and now they've got like a war chest where they can go and like spend whatever sort of money going and doing activations. But for like the smaller projects, the ones that, you know, had just like minted or like are trying to like get through, and for us especially, like we wanted to do a low mint price and then use royalties, because if we can keep engagement and activations rolling, and we can keep, you know, people coming into the project, we earn the royalties. It was like we wanted to, you know, deserve our way through the project, and them like completely closing that down has obviously put us in like a like terrible situation where we don't have now like the runway or like the royalties to keep like activations rolling constantly. So we're put in a position where we can't now focus on, you know, putting out activations purely for the community's sake, because that's not going to generate us any revenue, and that's super sad to us, man. That's so upsetting, because all we want to do is make like the vibes, bring the vibes to the space, and that's been like sort of taken away from us, just because of like the politics and like money hungry and all of that stuff. Like it's, you know, the whole royalties things was a staple of NFTs, and it's what drew like a lot of people to the space. So then like them coming and like taking it away in the just to please, you know, VCs and stuff is absolutely outrageous. But having said that, nothing can stop us. We keep it going, baby. You know what I'm saying? We've amassed an insane amount of like, you know, IP. We've done huge amounts of work. We've done loads of numbers. So now we just have to pivot. So it's going to take a bit of time, but we're just going to go and find other sources to make shit happen. You get what I'm saying? And on top of this, again, like, we don't want to go and just put out a mint and extract more, you know, money from the community. That doesn't sit right with me. So instead, we're going to go and seek out, you know, outside funding in some way, shape, or form. It will happen, and then from there, we'll be able to build out like the absolute dreams that we're trying to make. And again, like businesses don't happen overnight, successes don't happen overnight. You only heard Drake when he was a certified lover boy. You didn't hear about the 7 years he was in the booth, all of that stuff. 2 Chainz became famous at the age of like 34. Man, it's time for everybody. You know what I'm saying? It's never too late. Let's keep it rocking, baby.
Bars, bro. Bars. I feel like we gotta give these last few people a chance to jump in. Rogue, Dre, Millie. Let's go to Rogue first because he was up here, and then we'll go to Dre. Rogue, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's up, guys? Yobs, how's it going?
What's cooking, my guy?
I just ducked out of a meeting to come in. Just wanted to say I don't have a question. Just wanted to say that, listening to your story, you're a huge, huge inspiration, man. Yeah, it's really great knowing you, bro. Like your story, I never knew a lot of the things behind the scenes, and from the stories that you just told, like the stuff that you pulled is yeah, it's remarkable, man. It's fucking admirable, and I'm like pumped. I'm so hyped. For an up and comer, it's you got me hyped, man.
I appreciate you, man. Likewise, man. Your art is crazy, man. I don't
No,
understand.
thank you,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah.
This is about you, though. This is about you and that
Nah, this
accent.
is about us. This is about us. You get me? This is all of us together, the creators. Let's go.
Let's go. All right, man. Have a good day.
I appreciate you, my friend. Keep it going, man. Like, I absolutely love what you're doing as well. Your art is incredible, man. And thank you for all of the Clone Force renders you've been doing. I absolutely love you, man. Thank you so much.
Awesome. See you.
Hey, gotta love the positive vibes flowing. Let's throw it to Dre, and then we'll go to Ilan after that.
Yo, what's good people? How was everyone today? I'm gonna go off of what Rogue said, bro. Like, I didn't come up to ask a question, but I am truly amazed by your backstory. I had no idea that you've done a lot of the things that you've done, or were this in depth and plugged into the community and your history with Zap and all of the airbrush king shit that you was doing. Like, that's amazing stuff. It just gets me that much more bullish on our community because we have like these gems of people, of individuals that just keep making this place even better each and every day. So I'm gonna piggyback off of what Rusty said about you being a vibe. That was the most accurate statement. You are truly a vibe, bro. Like the way you carry yourself, the way you speak, the things you say. My wife is in here listening. She's like, "Oh, I just love the way he talks through and community," and she keep repeating you and shit. Like it's crazy, but it's truthful, man. And it even what Cass said, it goes from high octane vibes, laughter to like an emotional place because that's just who you are. I've never met you before, but I can feel the vibe that you've given just from hearing you speak and talking about the things that you're passionate about. So, no question, just wanted to shoot you some love, tell you thank you for everything that you've done. The space wouldn't be the same without you. You are appreciated, and we're gonna be here with you to the end, man. We appreciate you, and I don't want any compliments after this, bro. No compliments for me. Just take this one and run with it. It's all love. I appreciate you.
No compliments, but I gotta say I love you, man. Thank you so much. I just wanted to like say another on top of what you were mentioning. Like, I've always like gone through life with just like a very very small bunch of friends, like five of us, and none of them were creative. And I, always just like watching other people's work and artists, and they'd always be like, "Man, you're so good, you're so amazing." But I'd like look at other artists' work and be like, "I'm not that great, man." But there's something that this space like does, because we're so close to everyone, like to the founders of projects, to like really successful people. Like there's such a mixing pot of like people in this space from all walks of life, and I think that's what's like really incredible about this space in general. Like you've got like super successful people on the same level as like people that ain't got so much money and things like that, and everyone's mixing together and we're bringing like the same sort of vibe, and it's so inspirational to be so close to people like Zaptio, like the founder of Valhalla. Like I can keep like naming people like nonstop where they show up every day, and like even Elon Musk, bro, like he's here active with us chatting shit on the timeline. Like it's so incredible to be surrounded by so much inspiration, and that's what was like missing in my life. So this is the first time like coming into like a community like Artifact is the first time I found a family away from my family, man. So like thank you so much, guys, man. Like for everything you do every day is an inspiration. Just like hitting up the TL, man. Love you all.
Damn. Now we gotta talk to the big hitter. I know Ilan gonna come with some heat. You just gotta hit back to back to back jobs with some great speakers. I mean, Gilbert just started a whole train, but let's throw it to Ilan to cap things off for us.
All right, on. Look, I don't want to get too crazy because I know we're sort of wrapping up the spaces, but I obviously do want to run up here and give all love, to Yobs. I love these stories. I love these sort of backstories. I mean, going all the way back to your childhood. I mean, I think that's it illuminates really, who you are and who you've become. All those stories sort of intertwined to create the people that we are today. And what a journey, man. Like I'm so impressed by it. And as you know, like I've sort of hitched my wagon to your star very early on in this sort of clone, this CloneX story that I'm now interwoven in. And yeah, it's been just an absolute riot. It's been so much fun. It's been really exciting to see the creativity that happens, not just spawning from y'all's minds in creators challenges and that kind of thing, but most in particularly for Clone Force. That's been such a fun project, not just to be a part of and witness, but just to have that kind of DNA. I love throwing my VRM on, running around with the lads as we sort of do our thing. It's too much fun, man, and I look forward to a lot more fun in the future. I just like right before I hopped into the spaces, I read the thread, so props to Gilbert for pushing you on making sure that reached our minds, our eyeballs, our hearts, hit us in the feels with what's going on with all of that, because I know it's been a tough one. I mean, it's been a tough one for, for all of us in our own distinct ways, but as sort of founders and most especially founders with this amazing grand vision that you guys have for Clone Force, to hit that sort of some of those roadblocks that are, unforeseeable. They certainly, they force upon you, really hard decisions, man. Really hard decisions, most especially because you love the love that you show for your community and how passionate you are and how much you want to deliver for your community. So all in good time. Definitely wanted to pop up, say thanks heaps. I just got my my Titan upgrade on my Clone Force, so super stoked about that. Locked in, and yeah, looking forward to everything to come. Not just how we will interrelate in Clone Force, but with everything that's coming up with clones too. I'm sure we'll be having a lot of fun together, questing together, and fortifying these bonds that we've created over our time in this space. So thanks heaps, and yeah, man, a real inspiration. Keep doing what you're doing for sure.
Man, Ilan is an absolute literary magician, man. The way he weaves words together like a tapestry is outrageous, man. Like, I can't even like. You're such a like illumination. Like, shout out to like your name, Illumin Being, but like you're such an illumination for the timeline. Like, you're such a you supportive person. Like, everything that's come up, like, you've always got a positive spin on everything. You always like help people, you always support people, and honestly, I'm just absolutely honored to have you around like my orbit, as alts would say, man. Like, thank you so much for being a part of everything, and thank you for being a part of my life, man. Ilan, you're an absolute G. Thank you.
Beautiful.
I'm just gonna drop a few words because it's been very difficult for me to sit here and listen and not be able to contribute, because as you all know, it comes across as a little bit biased for me to say anything nice about Yobs or ask any questions. But I just want to say, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you all so much for giving him the love and the support that he truly deserves. He is, I'm not gonna cry. He deserves it. So thank you all.
Of course, Barry, you have to cry.
It would be
Hey,
a
Faray, no
job
one's
space
stopping
without
you
it.
from talking a little trash, though. Keep that in mind.
I actually have so much love in my heart right now that I can't even force it out. It's been really nice to listen to all of this, and yeah, thank you all for listening in and coming up to share some love. Okay, Cass, you're gonna have to go.
Yeah, I was gonna say, since I'm the only semi-dry person on stage, I guess it has been a great spaces. And no, I'm super proud of y'all too. I'm literally like, this man straight up, y'all, as just a genuine human being. I got to tell a story again. This man straight up gifted me a bag off of his flesh just because I was like, yo, bro, that's sick. And he was like, really? He's like, I don't know. It's kind of like, I was like, no, I was like, bro, like, that is crazy. And he's just like, all right, here you go. I still can't believe it to this day because I wear this thing everywhere. Like, it's gone with me so many places. And he also had like the best cologne on because like it smelled so good for like 2 weeks until I got my hands on it. But yeah, man, that's my departing story. So yeah, let's get any words of wisdom you got, any last little tips of life advice you want to leave with the people, and then Ferry will have some non-teary music for us to vibe to on the way out.
I don't know, I feel like I've said all of like my wisdomous stuff so far, but I don't know, man. Like at the end of the day, all that matters is that you try, man. This is like something I like go by like religiously almost, and like all that is asked of you as a human is that you try, man. Because like the age-old question of like why are we here and all of this, and like what is it all for, and like you go down like a depressive spiral of like thinking what this world is even about and what it's for, and then you come to a conclusion that it might all just be for nothing. But like the beauty in that is that there's absolutely no reason for why we're here, and the beauty is that you get to make that reason. Like that's what life is about. You get to make the reason for what your life is about, and all that is asked of you is that you try, man. Like as long as you're trying, you can't even be mad at yourself. As long as you're trying, no one can be mad at you. Like the only time you can ever like the only time you're upset with yourself, you're feeling down and stuff like that, is because you're like, oh man, I could be doing more, or this or that. And just try. Like that's all it is, man. Like I don't know what more to say, but and then the other thing I live by is I believe that the day that we become adults, or not adults, but like the day we die is the day we give up on our dreams. So like keep dreaming, and the only way your dreams fail is if you stop trying. Do you get what I mean? Like in all of like the stories of people that grew up and they're like, oh man, I used to be this, I used to be that. It's always like a used to be. Just don't be a used to be. And that's it, man. Like be a B. You get me? And also last thing, go and check out this little rap I did on a stream. The community asked me to rap like Drake. So shout me if you need someone to feature on your track. I'm the coldest. Let's run it.
Bars. I don't have the outro song ready, but bars.
Sorry, my PC was muted. Okay, let's hit it. Let's go. Bye, guys.
Love you all. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate every single one of you.
Love you, Yobs.
Why isn't it playing?
All you got to do is Yobs, and it'll work.
Let me just turn it off.
Play my track.
How do I do that? Oh, play your track. That's a good idea.
I got you. I can play something.
Yeah, go on. Play that track.
No, don't let Old play.
Bruh, why y'all let him even on the stage? This is what it's always
Like,
about.
literally, how many times is she gonna fall for that?
How is he doing? Every damn time, man.
We need a new DJ.
Perfect setup.
What a mess.
over here. I'm over here.